Hello and good afternoon, America. My name is Mr. G, your weather forecast, and you with it. Hello and good afternoon, America. My name is Mr. G with your weather forecast, and this is Elite Weather Forecasting. I'm the meteorologist for this channel. Thank you for checking me out today on YouTube, and you can see these videos on TikTok. So let's jump into it right now, and we're seeing a very fall-like weather pattern taking place across the eastern U.S. and into the Northeast and the Great Lakes and the Midwest. So much cooler temperatures today. We've seen those temperatures struggle to get out of the 50s today. So very fall-like, very October-like, and even November-like weather in some locations. We're still feeling the heat down in the Southwest. Much better conditions in the Southeast and along the Gulf Coast. A lot less humidity as well. So dry conditions. Lower humidities as well, and we're seeing the heat continue in the Southwest, and maybe a little bit of cooler weather and some wet weather moving into the Pacific Northwest as well. We're also going to see some showers moving in across the Great Lakes in the Northeast and the Upper Midwest, and I'm going to also tell you about we could see some snow this week. That's right, some parts of the country we will see some snowflakes fly this week as well. So a little bit to cover, and we're going to jump right into our first map right now. And here's a look at our first map, and this is a look at what's going on in the eastern half of the United States right now, across the Great Lakes and from the upper Midwest and into the Northeast. We got some showers out there. We got some rain showers out there associated with an upper level low pressure system there over eastern Maine. And that cold air, that low pressure sensor, is pulling in cold air down out of Canada. So we're seeing very chilly air and some showery conditions moving into parts of the Northeast and the eastern Great Lakes. So Michigan, across the parts of Ontario, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, upstate New York, and maybe even parts of Pennsylvania, we're seeing some showers, and even in West Virginia as well, we're going to see some of those showers and chilly conditions. We've seen temperatures across the 50s today across the Minneapolis area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, where we struggled to get into the 50s as we saw overnight lows last night in the low to mid 30s. It was almost down to freezing, and some areas will experience the potential for freeze and frost advisories this week. Particularly, we're going to see those in outlying or rural areas who have a greater risk for seeing temperatures dip below freezing, where we could see some frost advisories through parts of the upper Midwest and the eastern and the Ohio Valley as well, and then through parts of the Northeast and the New England areas, where we can see it cold enough to see some frost out there. And we're also going to see some rain and snow showers in some parts of the higher, above 3,500 feet to 4,000 feet out there in Maine, in the mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire, the hills of eastern Canada. We're going to see some snow out there. So feeling quite like October or November out there. So a bit chilly for some of you folks. I know it was hard to get to sleep last night because it was colder than what I'm comfortable with. So a little bit chilly in the Northeast and the eastern half of the nation, the Great Lakes and the Corn Belt. We're seeing it a bit chilly out there today. So here is a look at what we're seeing today. And that colder air is going to continue into Wednesday. So throughout Wednesday, we're going to see those showers in the east, in the cooler, those breezy conditions. We're seeing those winds out there about 20 to 30 miles per hour. So it's been quite brisk through parts of Minnesota today, Wisconsin, Michigan, through Ontario, Toronto, through maybe Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, even parts of Missouri. We're seeing it quite chilly through the Appalachians. So we have West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and into Maine. We're going to see that chilly weather continue through Wednesday. So chilly weather before it begins to moderate and maybe warm up a little bit. We will see those temperatures moderate here first across the western side of the Midwest. So the western states of the Midwest, so North, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, and Iowa will see the warm up first, and Missouri as well. We will see conditions improve as we get to the middle part of the week. We're going to see those temperatures go through the 60s, and we'll see temperatures touch the 50s, 70s when we get to Friday. So we're looking for a high temperature here in the Twin Cities, about 70 degrees on Friday, but we're going to struggle in the temperature department until then. So highs in the 50s again tomorrow in the Twin Cities area, Duluth, down through Wisconsin, Michigan, Detroit, New York, upstate New York, Buffalo. We're going to see those temperatures struggle to get through the 50s and into the 60s again tomorrow with those showers there across the New England areas in the eastern Great Lakes. We're going to see those cold air showers, those instability showers out there in that colder air. So feeling quite a bit like fall right now. So we're going to watch that. So here is our temperatures that we're going to see, those temperatures today. And you can see that I'm going to stand over here so you can see this map a little bit better. But here is those warmer temperatures that we're going to see coming in by about Wednesday and into Thursday. If you look at this region here, this is where Iowa and Missouri is right in this region. Minnesota here is Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then North and South Dakota is on the other side. But we can see those temperatures in the 60s. These are temperatures in the 60s and 70s, making its way back towards the Corn Belt as we head through the middle part of the week. So we will see this being a fairly brief cool down, but we're going to see things moderate a bit as we get towards Friday, get closer to Friday. Things will get a little bit less cool, a bit more mild, and more warm. It's warmer as well. So we will see a temperature moderation as we head through the middle part of the week. But check these out. These are our overnight lows. We're seeing overnight temperatures across the Midwest and into New England. So upstate New York right here. There is Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Here is Ohio, Michigan. There is Wisconsin, Minnesota. There's Iowa and Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and again, Ohio. And you see that white here? These are temperatures around 30 degrees. So these are temperatures between 30 and 38 degrees. So we will see where this white color temperatures, these are areas where it's going to be cold enough for that frost and freeze watches to go into effect. So we're going to see maybe some temperature, some cold headlines in the overnight and early morning hours, especially as we come into Tuesday, tomorrow morning, and Wednesday. So from parts of the Northeast and New England, the Great Lakes, and the Upper Midwest, and into the Northern Plains, we're going to see those temperatures very, very cold out there. Could get almost down to freezing in some locations. We had an overnight low of 33 last night here in the Twin Cities, so getting real close to that 32 degree mark. So we're going to see the potential and get a chance to get even a little bit colder tonight. So we're going to see a little bit better shot of those temperatures getting close to that freezing mark. And then here's the look. Frost and freeze risks across most of the Midwest tonight and into this week. So through Wednesday, we're going to see those temperatures, at least out there, get cold enough for a frost and freeze. So that's what all of this from Kansas, Nebraska, North, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, down to the mountains of Tennessee, to northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, western North Carolina, western Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, western Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, western Massachusetts, and northwestern Connecticut. Even through Wednesday, we're going to see that frost and freeze risk, especially in those rural areas where there's not high-rise buildings of the big cities. So those areas will have more radiation or cooling because of decreasing cloud cover, but you will see some showers between now and then to Tuesday. A lot of areas in those regions will see some showers, especially in the Northeast and the Great Lakes area. We'll see some rain showers, so some areas can pick up some pretty decent rainfall amounts, could approach about an inch of rain or more. Here's that rainfall forecast that we're going to be seeing across the Northeast and the Great Lakes, and we're going to see that dissipate as we get into Friday the 18th. Those rain showers will head on off the coast, but until then we're going to see those rain showers come across Minnesota, and some of these folks can pick up in excess of an inch of rain over eastern Wisconsin, eastern Wisconsin, across Michigan. We're going to see those showers into northern Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, up through the Vermont, New Hampshire, and the great upstate New York, as well as Maine and Massachusetts. We're going to be looking at those showers that pass through between today and Friday. So get ready for some showers and some colder weather and some snowflakes in some areas. So I alluded to some snowfall potential earlier. So at the beginning of the video, remember I mentioned the chance for some snow. So we do see the possibility of some snow in the higher elevations of Vermont, maybe the Cascades of New York State, New Hampshire, Maine, parts of eastern Canada, so parts of Ottawa and New Brunswick. We could see some snow showers, and it's not going to be heavy snowfall amounts, but maybe a few inches could be possible in some of the mountains in the Northeast. We're going to see some mountains. We might see a few snowflakes across northeastern Minnesota, north of Duluth, in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, the Michigan Upper Peninsula, central and northern Wisconsin. You can see the potential here for some very light snowfall accumulations, mostly on the grass. We're looking at less than a half inch of snow across Wisconsin and northern Minnesota, across into Michigan, and then over to upstate New York, into the Catskill Mountain Range and the mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. We're going to see that. This is as we get towards Friday, and we can see that snow begin to accumulate. So I think this winter is going to be very different than what we saw last winter. Remember, last winter we saw a very, very strong El Nino, and there was a lack of snow in many of these regions. And this year, a La Nina, we have a weak to moderate La Nina, so I think we're definitely going to see earlier snow this year and more snow this year. Will it be a record book snow? I don't think so, but I think we're definitely going to see more action this winter than we saw last winter. Let's move on to our next map. here is a look at the cold that we are going to see. This is the real feel, the apparent air temperature, what it feels like out there. And if you are here in the northern areas, northern like in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, your areas is going to feel like those temperatures. It really felt cold last night to me. It really felt cold. It felt like we were in the 20s. And a lot of areas are going to feel that again tonight. Here over the north country, you're going to feel like you're in the teens and the low 20s. But if you go further south through the Appalachians and down into the mid-Atlantic, it's going to start to feel like you're in the 30s and 40s. A little bit more comfortable than what it is across the far northern states. And again, here is a little bit of good news. I hinted at that as we get towards the end of the week, we're going to see that trend kind of switch around. We're going to see warmer air begin to come up from the southwest. So warmer air will invade back into the northeast and the Great Lakes as we head into your Thursday, Friday through Sunday, especially here in the Twin Cities. We could possibly hit 70 on Friday. Okay, we're going to see those 60s on Thursday, 70 on Friday, upper 60s on Saturday and Sunday, and maybe 70 again next Monday. So definitely from Friday through the weekend and into early next week, temperatures back into the 70s, the New England states, the Great Lakes, and even across the upper Midwest and the northern plains, a little bit more warmer 60s and 70s return. Not really any increase in humidity. The humidity will remain low, so that's some very good news, but temperatures will bounce back into the 70s. I know some people aren't quite ready for winter yet. We don't mind fall weather, but we don't want to include snow in the forecast just yet. No snow just yet. So I'm going to keep moving forward here, and we're going to keep on going down the road. So we got to talk about the heat in the southwest. Some daily record highs are going to be challenged. We're going to still see those triple-digit temperatures in Southern California, Southern Nevada, Arizona, again, Tucson, Phoenix, have highs about 100 degrees or so, or maybe a few degrees above. Palm Springs, Lancaster, Palmdale, Indio, Coachella, Needles, Blythe, Victorville. Again, we'll see those temperatures way upper 90s to low 100s. So it's going to continue to be hot across the desert southwest. And then we're going to see that heat, warmer temperatures will extend all the way into New Mexico, southern Colorado, southern Utah, Nevada. There it is. You can see the pattern for through Thursday. Look up across the northern tier. So the northern Rockies, Idaho, eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, Montana, Wyoming will be comfortable. Very, very nice weather across the northern Rockies. But you can see some snow in parts of the Rockies and parts of the Cascades as well. Could pick up some snow this week. Some very, very light snowfall accumulations are going to be possible across the Central Rockies through Colorado and Utah, maybe parts of Wyoming and Montana. Canada will see, the Canadian Rockies will see more substantial snowfall this week, but we're going to keep on moving, and we're going to talk about the temperatures over the desert southwest, and we're going to be looking at these light grays here. These are temperatures in the 100s. You can see over Southern California, Palm Springs, here's Phoenix area here, those triple-digit temperatures. Mexico, the Sonora Desert, down here near Hermosillo, Mexico. We're seeing those temperatures here south of the border, here in the Sonora Desert. those temperatures about 110 degrees right in this region, but we're seeing those temperatures between 105 in Phoenix and 110 in parts of the Mojave Desert here in California and central Arizona. So it's still very hot across the southern deserts, but you can see the cool spots here in the Rockies, where those temperatures in the Rockies like Vail and Aspen. In the higher elevations in the mountains, you are seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s here for highs, and also in California, in the Sierra Nevada, you're seeing some areas where those temperatures in the high elevations of the mountains are in the 30s to 40s, as well as up in Oregon and Washington in the Cascades. And we got to talk about some rainfall in the Pacific Northwest. We are seeing a big storm over Alaska. There is a storm affecting the Aleutian Bay of Alaska. And that's a big storm bringing snow to areas like Juneau and Sitka and the mountains around in Alaska and the Yucatan, the Yukon and Canada, the Northwestern Territories of Canada, the British Columbia, and we're seeing snow from south of Anchorage. I was like, what's the capital of Alaska? I am tripping. Anchorage. Snow, Anchorage, down to Skagway, Sitka. No snow in Ketchikan. Ketchikan is one of the more milder areas of Alaska, so we're not seeing any snow, but we are seeing some rainfall. Some a little bit of rainfall. So we're seeing that rainfall here across. It's going to be moving across the Pacific Northwest. So by the time we get to Friday, those rain showers that's going to be coming out of the Cascades and the Olympic Mountains will be over eastern Oregon, over the semi-desert areas of eastern Oregon, eastern Washington, moving into Idaho. So we are going to see some light rainfall amounts. These are mostly in the tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch, but some areas like here might pick up as much as half inch to an inch. So some areas going to be picking up a little bit of rainfall here across the Pacific Northwest this week as well. So some areas in Seattle and Portland will pick up some rain showers for your Tuesday and Wednesday as well, and into Thursday. So a little bit of wet weather across the Pacific Northwest. And we do have some snow. We're going to see that snow coming into Canada as we got this map here into motion. It's not the most, this is a more scientific map. This is not the better maps that I have, but it's a scientific map, so it's more accurate here. So this is that snow we're going to be seeing coming into the Olympic and the Cascades. Look at that snow, 1 to 2 inches in some areas for by the time we get to Friday. So Thursday and Friday, we're going to be seeing pretty good amounts of snow here through the Cascades into Oregon and Washington and Oregon. We're going to see some snow coming out of the Canadian, out of British Columbia and off the Pacific. Some snow there into the Cascades. So get ready for a little bit of fall weather and maybe some wintry precipitation. Again, here's a look at the Rockies. So Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Nevada. And we're going to eventually see that snow coming on down. We're going to be watching for that scene. You see that there? That's that snow coming into Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. There's that snow coming into Colorado. So in some areas, we're going to be seeing 1 to 2 inches. Maybe some areas pick as much as 3 inches. So we're going to be seeing snow coming in this week as well. So we are going to be seeing our snow resorts start to pick up some snow, and then here it is, that storm over the this Aleutian low here over the Bay of Alaska, and we're seeing that snow here in the mountains. This is now more of that snow is going to fall over more inland than it is over. So Juneau is right here. Sitka, Ketchikan is down here. Juneau, Sitka, Homer, as well as Skagway. Skagway is over here, so we're going to see some snow in Skagway. We're going to see snow in Sitka, but we won't see any snow in Ketchikan and Juneau. We're going to just see rain showers and fog in those regions, and it's going to be a little bit windy as well. So finally, we get to talk about include Alaska in one of today's one of my weather forecasts. I always be wanting to talk about Alaska. Again, here we go as we talk about, all right, what is this map here? All right, I'm not really sure. I need to come closer so I can see what the hell I'm looking at here. Okay, so this is the European model. Okay, again, this is Alaska. This is that Alaska. And this is rainfall. This is the rain that they're going to be seeing across Alaska. More rain than snow. It's October. You know, the cruise season is almost coming to a close, so you don't want to go on a cruise to Alaska now. They're still going. They're going to the end of October, but this is not the most ideal weather condition, so it's not going to be the smoothest ride right now. We got this big storm here over the Aleutian, along the east of the Bay of Alaska here, so going into Canada is the Northwest Territories. This is the Northwest Territory, the Yukon, and here is the British Columbia area of Canada. So we're going to see rain showers down here over the BC, and we're going to see some rain showers over the Yukon areas and the interior of Alaska. So again, here is the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecast. This is the continental U.S. forecast for this week, and we're going to be seeing that snow coming into the Pacific Northwest, down into the Rockies, and we're going to be seeing that rain and some snow in the Northeast and the Great Lakes, and that's going to head off into northeastern Canada and out towards the Atlantic. And then we're going to see some tropical showers down here now off the coast of Florida. So South Florida, we're going to see showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to see high pressure moving in across the southeastern U.S. So that's going to suppress all of the humidity along the Gulf Coast, so we're going to see a lot less humid conditions down across Florida and the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, South Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, Georgia, South Carolina will get a period of a little bit less humidity and drier air in place. So that is going to be a good thing for you folks down there. A nice reprieve from the hot temperatures. Again, this is the rainfall forecast this week. We're going to see some rainfall here in the Appalachians and the Ohio Valley. These are relatively light rainfall amounts. Anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of rain is going to fall here in the Appalachian mountain ranges. So West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania will see some of those rain showers and maybe a rumble of thunder, but not much in the way of severe weather. But a rumble of thunder will be possible. Here is the temperatures we're going to be seeing across the southeast and along the Gulf Coast. Those temperatures are along the Gulf Coast. You see those 80s, right? But look at this. You see how it turns brighter? Those temperatures getting cooler. So a cooling trend coming to the state of Florida, the Panhandle, the Southeast, South Carolina, North Carolina, cooler temperatures. cooler temperatures, and then it will start to maybe warm up a little bit again. We'll see some of that warmth begin to return, and maybe a little bit of humidity as well. So we're going to see some 60s drop down into the Gulf Coast. So New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Biloxi, Alabama, so Montgomery, we're going to see these areas get 60s and 70s for high. So that's a very nice welcome change into the weather forecast for you folks down across the Gulf Coast and in the southeastern U.S. I wish I had, and you can see that here, this is the dew point temperatures, and you can see this as those, you can see this here. This is the moist air being pushed further down. Look how that air goes south across the state of Florida. You see that? That's those lower dew points. The higher dew points are way down here over the Atlantic and south of the state of Florida. The dew points will drop south. The high dew points will drop south of the Florida Peninsula and down across the Gulf of Mexico. You see? Look at that. That's those drier dew points. That's going to be much, much comfortable. Very, very comfortable. Woo! Very nice. You guys have earned that. You had to deal with those 2 hurricanes. You had to deal with the oppressive heat and humidity. So a break in the heat and humidity will be welcome across the southeast. That is your weather forecast. I'm Dooley Godot, also known as Mr. G, your meteorologist. Thank you for watching us today. This is Elite Weather Forecasting, and now we'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.